नमस्कार, अभिनंदन, आभार आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है on today's episode of Path of Positivity. I'm your host Astha Pande and you are watching us on NIN Live. Path of Positivity is an endeavor of Movement of Positivity. Movement of Positivity is spearheaded by Dr. Gyaneshwar Mule of NHRC and Mrs. Himangi Sinha is the chairperson of Arjun Foundation. Our guest today is Miss Rosy Taba. She is an advocate and currently a member of the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Her organization, Opoama Society, provides socio-legal perspective to the issues of women and children in Arunachal Pradesh. Namaskar, ma'am.
Namaste, namaste, Astha.
A very warm welcome to you on today's show. How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. Thank you. So, ma'am, my first question to you is that please tell us about yourself, something about yourself and your organization, Opuama Society.
Astha, I'm Rosy Taba Gongo. I'm a simple girl from the scheduled tribe Nishi of Arunachal Pradesh. I'm an advocate by profession, and social lead thing was always a thing of me since I was very young. So I have done my LLB from Bangalore University, and then I came back to my hometown, Arunachal. At Itanagar, I practiced for a few days, and then I entered into Ministry of Law and Justice as their project coordinator for the state of Arunachal. And after that, I became a member of Women Commission in Arunachal Pradesh, and currently I am a member in the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Talking about Opuama, it's a very dream of my grandmother. My grandmother is the founder of the organization Opuama Society. She believed in women empowerment through economical independence. She was very much into this. In a tribal society, when you see a tribal society from outside, you feel it's very independent and other thing, but the truth inside is very different. And perhaps that's one of the thing my grandmother struggled all her life to become economically independent, and she still feels that economic independence is the thing that give a woman the empowerment. As 2017 came, when I was settled in Itanagar, I asked her that can I take your NGO and expand it, and I make a social legal NGO. It's one of the first social legal NGO of Arunachal Pradesh, where we give emphasis on the legal aspect of child rights and women rights, along with the social significance in the tribal community. But my grandmother, as she is, she was one thing she made very clear, that we can make it as a social legal NGO, but we have to have the aspect of economic empowerment too. So we are including a few of the area of livelihood too in our organization.
Great, great, beautiful, ma'am. Ma'am, as you told that you have been a member of Arunachal Pradesh State Commission for Women.
Yeah.
What role does the commission play in the protection of women's rights?
Uh, I think as of Arunachal is concerned, because I was a member there, I know there is a particular act made for that, Arunachal Pradesh Women Commission Act, and it gives an ample of power to the commission to make rules, regulations, and even to help the government with the recommendation that they feel that the women of Arunachal needs. One of the foremost thing that Women Commission since its inception has done is the very fact that the child marriage was very rampant in Arunachal Pradesh, and somehow due to their intervention, the people before us, the women before us who held their position in Women Commission have done tremendous job in that. The number of child marriages has come to almost nil now, saying that they also work very hard for they are also working very hard for the property rights right now, that we as an Arunachali woman don't have. And very important, that people should know that polygamy is very rampant in Arunachal, and it is socially accepted. So one of the major cases that come to the Women Commission is of domestic violence, perhaps related to polygamy or other thing, and the commission works very hard in terms of solving it through, you know, solving it through counseling or other means that are there, because we don't have a divorce system that we can tell women to go for it. So in and all, I would say that commission is, one of the reasons that women rights in Arunachal is existing.
Okay, okay. Ma'am, you just mentioned one thing that there is no system of divorce
Huh.
in the state. Can you please brief us about it?
Actually, in the indigenous community, or like the tribal society, like we don't have a system of divorce, perhaps as in mentioned in the legal system when we talk about marriage act or the Indian laws. We don't have it. Very frankly, once you are married to a man, you remain. The separation process is also very tough. It's
So, ma'am,
all
is there a
built around.
social pressure on women regarding it?
I would say yes. I would say yes. The social stigma that attached to a
Yeah.
divorcee is there in Arunachal too.
Okay.
It's
So, ma'am,
almost same like all the
yeah,
world.
true, true, very true. Ma'am, you belong to a border state, and as you said, you are a member of National Commission for Protection of Child Rights as well. So you just told us about the vulnerabilities and the problems which women face. Now, I would like to ask the other half of it. What vulnerabilities do child face there, and how do you protect their rights?
Like whenever I talk about children or child right issues, I think it's very universal. When we come to the vulnerabilities you are talking about, it's very universal. Maybe it's Arunachal or other part of the country. I would say it's always there, in terms when I became a member in the National Commission, I came to know that all the children are in pathetic condition today in India. It so happen, Asta, is because, in India, a child is never seen as a different entity, or we never ask a child what they want. It's always
True.
like we see them with the parents. We see
Yeah.
them as a, co-related one. We never give them a separate space or separate importance, even with the, ministry, or with the anything you see, WCD department, WCD ministry, or whenever we talk about women, we talk about children. And then, children becomes the secondary topic and not the primary one. And that's the reason why I see that children are not given importance. As in Arunachal is concerned, the bordering state, as you said, I think it's it's with the policies also, but the geographical the shortcomings of being very far with the communication. Now that the communication is bettering up with the road communication or airways, other things, it's getting better. But the education system, or say the protection system, or everything, it's lacking, still lacking, and we have far way to go. And that children in Arunachal have even, are suffering for, if I say very frankly, to get a good education. Like me, I had to study in Bangalore, to just get
Yeah.
a law degree. So that's how the examples are, and there are so many of it.
Yeah. Ma'am, you just mentioned that there are some improvements currently in the communication system as the state is quite far away. Can you just give us a brief account on what improvements are we making?
Um, I think by God grace, I think by next year we are getting our airport. We have
Oh,
just now, I think it's been a few years that we have got our railway. I think 5 years, 6 years, we got our railways. Now the airport is coming, and the roads. I think this government. I'm not biased, but I would like to thank, this government for doing such a great job and giving us a policy of look east policy, that people are giving importance to northeast now. Even roads are getting better. They are. I understand the climatic condition and, geographical issues, but then, the sanction of money that is coming for roads transport and giving importance for national highways, I think those things are coming up in Arunachal, and I'm very proud and very happy for that.
indeed, indeed, ma'am. Ma'am, my next question to you is the answer you gave that the children rights are quite neglected, and I should say grossly neglected. But I would like to know the reason, as we all know that child would be the next generation of children would be the next generation of a country, and India has the most population of youth in our country. So why do we people, the people, doesn't realize that they would be the future and they would lead to the development of a country? So we should give more importance to the children, to their development, to their healthy development, I should say, which involved mental, emotional, and physical. What is the reason that they get neglected?
Astha, after becoming a member in the commission, I came to know, the different lacunas. First thing I would say, there are different framework for child rights at different level. The international level, when we say about UN is there. When we say at the national level, the NCPC are the commissioner there is Supreme Court and everything. And then we come to the state, there is a SCPCR, the state commissions. And then we come to the district, there is a CWC, and under TC. And when we go below level, VLCC, and there's so many, even for the blocks, we have a framework of child rights at every level, but the implementation part. And that's so what happens is like, when we made the law, finally when we make laws in India, mostly we take it from the Western ideas. And when we
Yeah,
take the Western ideas, and implement in India, it becomes very difficult practically,
true,
because
true,
our
very,
social structure is very different, very different. And that's
yeah.
one of the issues where implementations of law, even made very good, like the
Mhm.
JJ Act is there or POXO Act, they are so tremendously well, if good, if it's implemented very well, but we cannot implement it as in toto, because of the fact that the
Mhm.
structure of it and the structure of the society we live in is very different practically and in books.
Very
So
true,
I
very
think that's one of the reasons.
okay. So, ma'am, you just mentioned that we are giving importance to westernization and we are accepting their culture and we are implementing it here, which is, as you said, is practically not possible. So, ma'am, what do you think? What changes could we make? And what Indian culture would help in the protection of child rights or their development? What changes should be made?
I won't give it my perspective, but I'll give you my observation. What I
Yeah.
feel is, somewhere when you make a law, I feel that when we are making a law on children, we should, go to different communities of children. Like I belong to a
Mhm.
scheduled tribe, you belong to another, and we should go everywhere, and we should have a opinion, opinion generated on that basis. What I want, I should be asked as an ST
Right,
person. What you
right.
want as an Astha Pande, you should be known, and that has to be inculcated. And saying that, I would say we are. I won't say that we are copying the Westernization, but the laws, because they are already developed.
Mhm.
In terms of making laws, I would say they are already made, and they're so much into child rights and all. We somehow get. I won't. I always say they copy, but somewhere we get very affected by that. But when we make a law, I always say we should see the social
Exactly.
structures we live in. Like in Arunachal Pradesh, there is, I said, no divorce, no adoption even. We
Yeah.
don't have a system of adoption in tribal society. So if
Right.
you give a JJ Act to a tribal society, how are going to implement it in terms of adoption? There are communities in tribal who take care of the children after if there is no kitten kin after the parents have died. So these are the concept that has to be inculcated. And I think
Yeah.
in this part, when a model rule is made in the country, and when it is implemented in different states, that state has to make rules which is
Mhm.
particularly subject to the people belonging to that particular state. And Asa, if I have to say, in India,
Yeah.
even one block is very different from another block. A
True.
district is very different from another district.
True.
So somewhere, the uniformity may not be the answer. I feel that
Yeah.
somewhere,
Yeah.
customization of even a single law or rule or regulation, it is very much needed, which I would
Oh,
like to see in future.
yeah. True, ma'am. Ma'am, you just mentioned that adoption is something which is not being implemented correctly in the state. I would like to ask that what apart from adoption are your state applying which people are not able to execute? Like, is there any more westernization rules which are being applied to your state and which shouldn't be applied?
I think it's not a westernized law, like you said, but the
Yeah,
laws of these modern times, if we make
yeah,
it very
yeah.
correctly, if you speak very correctly, the modern
Uh,
rules and regulation, I think one thing in Arunachal is very common is people getting married very young. Very
yeah.
young, they get married. There was a culture of child marriage. it was very accepted, and now it has turned into a teenage marriage, where people are very young getting married, having babies. But if we see the, the particular legal age of marriage, it's 18 for girls and 21 for boys. But I think that is not applicable in Arunachal Pradesh. People get married very young, very, very young. And if they have relationships and they have babies, we cannot say that was like pox or anything, because it's accepted in the society. And whereas I say, obviously, there is a conflict in law and the society, as I was telling you before also.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
not implemented in Arunachal.
Yeah.
Like the adoption, this one is also a big issue. And then the other issue I would like to say is pertaining to women. When we say about the property rights, the Hindu Succession Act or other succession act give rights to the daughter with the property of a father, but in
Mhm.
Arunachal again, they don't have a property right to the ancestral property. So right now, the commission, women commission, and other women organization are working on it. That there has to be, and they are coming up with some rules and law on marriage and divorces also.
Great, great, ma'am. So, ma'am, your answer makes me curious that what steps are your organization, you personally, are taking to improve the condition? And how many lives have you saved till now? Because looking to towards the and analyzing your answer, I believe that there would have been many lives जो आपने अभी तक बचाई होंगी, which you have saved.
The question, I think, I cannot take the credit alone, my whole team. The
Of course.
organization is, my organization is composed of mostly lawyers and activists. So we work very hard in terms of, giving a sense of legal right intervention in terms of all the empowerment needed to women and children. Like I was saying, we are working on the sexual harassment at workplace with the act that is not, because in Arunachal, 70% of women are working, either in the markets or a business or offices. You will see women. So we are planning to come up with a simple thing. The POSH is already all over India, but in Arunachal again, we don't see the implementation part. So we're coming up with an idea that we collaborate with different organization and we give training. कि पोस्ट होता क्या है ना, कि sexual
हाँ जी.
harassment होता क्या है, when once people are ignorant about it and suddenly it comes up and a woman says कि, somebody is texting me like that, they don't take it important. And in a state where 70% of the women are working, it's very much needed. So this is the one thing we are doing in our plan of it. And secondly, I won't say we have saved lives, but we have created a online platform for women from rural areas, the artisans or producers, farmers who can sell their products. We take no charge for that. We sell their products, and I think that's one of the ways where we talk about empowerment. And I can't tell you the names how we have done so
Of
much of
course.
work, but legal aid and counseling are a part of our organization that we do on a on a regular basis. But I don't think we should take credit for that. But just making happy and just giving an idea that being woman is not bad, or a child has a right is not bad for a state like Arunachal where child rights and it's very new, or women rights is just gearing up.
Ma'am, it's so humble and noble of you, and it just makes me excited to know that if you are getting some positive results out of it, because you just mentioned that girls and women there are a bit hesitant to share whatever is happening in their lives and what harassment is they're facing for xyz reason, and it can be social pressure or the humility they think that they would face. So do you have some positive, do you get some positive outcomes out of it? Do women are coming out there and showing their misery?
Yeah, I have many of it. I think there are people who today who speak to us like they didn't, with the livelihood thing that we started last COVID time. They come to us and say that yes, we like the idea that our products are sold. We never
Right.
thought that somebody will sell it for us, and we feel very happy. That's one thing. Another thing with the counseling thing that is happening. People say counseling se kya hota hai, but it does a difference. It does a
Mhm.
difference. We have done so many counseling on marriages, divorces, or even the rise with the teenage pregnancy or other things that is rampant in Arunachal. We have come to know that counseling does wonders.
True.
One of the woman, I can't name her. So she was suffering from, of this dilemma of her husband having an affair with some other woman, and she thought what to do. And and then she had 4 children. She was just a farmer, and we gave her legal aid. We went to the court for her, and then a maintenance was given to her for children. And she was so thin, lean and thin, and she came to my house giving me a bag of cardamom from her garden, and she said, thank you, ma'am, that you did this for me. And that is all I need, I guess. Because most people don't know where to go. We know what is legal aid, we know what is district legal services authority, where these people should go. We just need to connect the dots, and that's the help. It's already there, like I said, the system is already there. We should just connect the dots, and we just do that. Asta, I won't
True,
say
true.
that there's so more, but small things
Yeah,
that we know as a lawyer, as a human, as an literate person, that I do that.
true, true. Ma'am, if it's okay to tell us about this, I would like to ask about the same incident you mentioned about this woman.
Hmm.
I would like to ask, ma'am, how do you hide her identity from her own family? Because sometimes what happen is the women think that if they would go and meet some counselor, their family would know about it, and there would be quite, there could be anything. We can't just predict what will happen, but they are scared to come out. So, how do you hide their identity, and how do you manage to get justice for them? If it's okay to tell
Yeah,
us
yes.
about.
Asa, first thing, I already told you that counseling matters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, we don't directly go to the court. First thing is we do
Exactly.
counseling. First round, second round, आपको क्या चाहिए क्या नहीं चाहिए, ऐसा करके होगा. If you go to the court, these things will happen, this will affect, you should not go back. The counseling plays a bigger role here. And when once the counseling is done, once the understanding is done, then we go to the legal aid council. And the legal aid councils are, basically lawyers, and they're very understanding in terms of giving her, again, the help and identity closer. We try to help even the transportation part. As an NGO, I shouldn't be, telling so much
True.
about us, but I
Yeah.
do try that even for
Mhm.
they are poor, no, they cannot
True.
hire anybody, so they came to us. So we try to provide the financial assistance as per the transportation is concerned, or any other thing that we can do, even from our pocket. We do try. Uh, and first, when these victims come to us, they are like in no hope. One counseling, two, three. I think minimum 5 counselings are needed, Astha, just to give
Acha.
her hope, just to give her the strength that how you have to go to the lawyer. We need to talk. We need to take this to the court. We need to speak about it. If anything happens, I'm there. 5, 6 hours. Basic. It's just done. I think it's quite same in the other part of the country also. What happens is like once you go through a very traumatic relationship or a domestic violence, or where your husband, the woman's condition is very bad in terms of mental and emotional. Once
Yeah, yeah.
we deal with it, other parts are easy.
True, true, ma'am. It's so wonderful to know that women are trying to come out because of you people giving such counseling sessions, and it's so encouraging. And I hope people who are watching this would get inspired to do the same. It's beautiful, ma'am.
Thanks.
My next question to you is that your organization aims to protect the heritage of Arunachal Pradesh as well. So please tell us something about it.
Astha, this is like, I belong to an indigenous faith. I follow Doni Polonism. Doni
Okay.
means the sun, and Polo means the
Oh,
moon. And
okay.
we follow an indigenous faith that is not known by many people.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it
yeah.
indigenousness is like, I think it's our identity, and even anybody from Arunachal needs to, protect their own identity. And this thing is not my work, but my part of me, which believes that if I cannot protect my identity, there is no worth living. So we have started our work on that also. We do conduct some a competition as an essay, or painting competition, or any other thing. So what we want to know, that the new generation thinks, as in our parents are concerned or forefathers are concerned, they were very much into this. We were always into our indigenous practices that we still do. But with the new generation coming, I feel that organization like us need to improvise in a modern way, in terms of talking, in terms of art in terms of visuals. So we are working on that, and hopefully in coming years you will be seeing more of our work. And I hope you people also like it.
Indeed, indeed, ma'am, we would. Ma'am, can you just tell us something about this indigenous faith?
Okay,
What?
basically, okay, I'll just try.
Yeah.
To, this is something, you cannot be explained in words. I always tell to people, you have to come to Arunachal Astha and see
Okay.
how, how we have an indigenous faith. We believe that, the sun is the mother goddesses, and the polo means the moon is a atupolo, we say the fatherly figure, mother, and the earth is jitana, we call mother earth. And these three are the reason we are living. These are the reason we have become human, and human were created by them, and we need to give respect to all the living and non-living things. In terms of when we pray to the rivers, we pray to the air, the wind, we pray to the mountains, we pray to the trees, and we pray to everything that is on this earth. We believe that every being has a means of surviving on earth, and if we need to live, we have rituals for everything. uh, I think it's very difficult to explain in words, but
Okay.
we have specific rituals for everything, in terms of marriage, in terms of when you're sick, or in terms of when you go to a new house like Aplok Grah Pravesh. We also have that, and it's all in an indigenous way. More like the nature is involved, the sun and moon and the water and the air and the earth is involved. I think that is what is Doni Polonism. That is what
Okay.
indigenous way of living is.
Okay, ma'am, I'm sorry if I overstepped myself, but it just made me curious because, like you said, I have heard this from for the first time,
Oh,
and yeah, so I just wanted to know what is it because it really catched my attention. Ma'am, my next question to you is that why do you think that Northeast tribes are neglected by the consequent governments of the country?
I think it was, I won't be. It's just my observation. Giving a political opinion would be too much. So it's my
Yeah, yeah.
observation that firstly, it's because again, it's very far from the,
Mhm.
like Delhi or other part of the country. It's very far. It's very far, and then there was lack of communication of anyways. No, I think telephone, mobile, or even now, we don't have network or electricity in some places. It's quite far even for a person like me. Going from Itanagar capital to Dumporejo is quite far, 12 hours by road. So I think it's one of the reasons, the communication part. And second part is like, they never thought that it was needed at that time. They never asked what we
Yeah,
needed at that time.
yeah.
And I guess because our population is very less, could be one of the reasons.
Okay,
Because our political representative is very less, that could be one of the reasons. And
okay.
the first and foremost reason is the communication part.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I think we were neglected. But now I think it's better with this government coming, and look, is policy coming. I think we are given much more importance, and Ministry of Donier coming. I think in future it will be good and better for us.
True, true, ma'am. And that means you are implying to say that now the things are getting improved. It is slow,
Very
but
much.
yes, it is
Yes,
getting
very much.
improved.
Very much.
Uh, Great, ma'am. Ma'am, my next question is that what, according to you, can be done to create a balanced society?
I
And
was.
what do you mean by balanced society?
It's a tough one, Asta. I think balanced society has a different perspective of a different human. I think, as of I am concerned, for me, balanced society would be where everybody's opinion matters, where everybody has the right to say, and everyone is given importance to talk, or everybody is given due respect of the way they are, of just being human or a living being. Even I talk about the animal rights also here. So
Yeah,
everybody's rights are respected, and everybody do their duty as they are given. I think that would be a balanced society.
great. And ma'am, how can we create it? Like, how do we do it in Arunachal Pradesh? What
Hmm.
are your observation and your views you think should be improved, which are not being improved right now? What situation can be given more attention to? Please tell us something about that.
When you ask me about Arunachal, I can go on and speak, but to make myself very precise, I think government needs to come up with good, you know, good, good program and policies for the state like Arunachal, where the whole state is scheduled tribe, and where we have so much of flora and fauna, and where we have so much of scope coming up. And like you said, we have a
Mm,
generation of young people, more young people than old people. So I think this is the time when government comes with good program policy that could be implemented at state level, district level, at all the village level. It could be very good. And I think our heart lies in the village. If we work more for the villages of Arunachal Pradesh, and I think one day it can become a
mm,
powerhouse for the country. If villages are given more importance, then I
yes.
think it would be good, and I think that would create a balanced society for Arunachal.
True, true, ma'am. Ma'am, my sincere apologies if I cross my boundaries, but I would like to ask one of my queries to you, and that
Mm.
is that India has this reservation system, which we are giving privileges to the one who need it, like ST, SC, and OBC.
Mm.
Is it not helping much in your state, or there is not certain reach? I would like to ask about that.
You see, Arunachal is full ST state.
Yeah, I mean,
So in
I
Arunachal,
just wanted to say, ma'am, that you said that political representation from your country is equally less. I
hmm,
would like to know something about that. Is it not helping enough to the state?
political representative is very less because population is very less, Astha.
Yeah,
We are
yes,
not even 10 lakhs of population, so I think political representative is also very less. And in terms of reservation, if you ask, if I'm particularly speaking about Arunachal, everybody is ST, so we don't have a reservation ki if you come from East ST or West ST, it's a uniform for everybody.
okay.
But when you ask about India and ask
Yeah,
about us, I think it does help in some part. It does
okay.
help, being ST, having a reservation help in some part in terms of when you give civil services exams, in terms of when you apply for colleges, it does help. But saying this, I would also add that economical background should also be checked. Some rich
Yeah,
people belonging to ST, and those things, I really don't like it. I personally, on my personal level, I don't like it. Some STs are really rich, but they take up the
mhm,
seat of somebody who is from this the barrier of caste or the other things
yeah,
comes up, and that takes the opportunity of a good student. I
yeah,
believe
yeah.
in that, and I believe
The
that
one who, yeah,
hmm,
yeah. The one who really needs it is not getting
hmm.
this. That is what you are implying to
I
say, right?
believe that. I believe
Yeah.
that some good students do go and lose their seats because of the
Mhm.
fact that they are not ST or SC or OBC. I've seen that in many fields, and I feel that that is much needed. And saying that, I would also say, because I'm from Northeast,
Yeah.
I'm from an ST community. I would say sometimes we are also not given the opportunity, and it's the first time from somebody from Northeast or an ST has become a member in National Commission Protection of Child Rights, just because I'm from Northeast. They needed a representative. I think that is also needed. But like you
Mhm.
said, some people do really are competent enough to get seats irrespective of what they caste or tribe they belong.
True, true, ma'am. Ma'am, you are already doing a wonderful and noble job. But I would like to know more about your future projects. Like, what are you planning to do? That roadmap ahead of your organization.
Because my organization based in Arunachal Pradesh, I'm trying to have a big networking of it. I feel like I should work more on the indigenous, like I said, indigenous faith part. One thing, and second thing, I will be working on the women and child rights. I'm right now working on the POSH Act that I told you, sexual harassment in workplace for the whole of Arunachal Pradesh. And second thing we are doing is, like, there is a school coming off of indigenous faith that is called Nivu Nyagam Yarko, that is in Seppa is coming. It is one of the first formal traditional school that for indigenous faith that has been started by one of the Doni Polo Charitable Trust NGO. So we are going to support them in all the ways possible of legal or any help we can give. We are going to do that because it's directly connected to the indigenous faith of our state. Those are the two things I'm going to do on a part. And then I have a very much, coming up with the child rights. I'm working on the part of it that once I'm relieved from this post, I'll go directly to Arunachal and start working.
Great, great, ma'am. Means after this post also you'll not stop the work the post
No,
is
no.
supposed to be doing. That is great, ma'am. That is great. Thank you so much for joining us today and giving us such beautiful observations about the condition of Arunachal Pradesh and how it can be improved. I hope this program would help and reach a lot of people out there and they would get inspired and would do the same in their backward areas. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
थैंक यू मैम इसी के साथ इसी के साथ हम आपसे विदा लेते हैं हम फिर मिलेंगे तब तक खुश रहिए ख्याल रखिए प्यार बांटिए धन्यवाद